Hey, what's going on, everyone? Cisco here, back with another Blue Up Project Road Chime video. You know, really big jump over here. This is the first video after the sync. I just want to wait until they drop this little content update over here. And you know, the way my last video, I briefly went over towards the end a little bit about the Japanese version at the moment, anyway. So here it is with the current sync and now global, you know, all around. Well, technically, it's not synchronized completely. We are still, what is that? 10 hours behind, I want to say. I think it's 10 hours behind. So whenever the JP gets your stuff, 10 hours later, Global will get it. And this goes for everything, for rewards, for free, you know, free pulls, for gift box and all that, and they log in and use everything. So still slightly behind. And my God, man. So yeah, sorry about that. And this is honestly really crazy over here. I think if you look at all past months, like at maximum, they have released like 7, you know, different releases within a month. And this thing already, we're looking at potentially 9. And you know, it could be crazier. Like again, I wouldn't be surprised if we get like you know, we got this you know, national team Japan saga over here. I wouldn't be surprised if we get Rin or another Nagi, right? Because these guys will part of their 3rd anniversary. So yeah, again, I wouldn't be surprised. Rin's lacking the character-wise, and Nagi, this character is also the old. So again, I wouldn't be surprised if we get one of those soon, right? So that's a little interesting. Rin for sure. Rin hasn't had a character in quite a while, so he probably does deserve one. So again, I wouldn't be surprised if something like that. Though I guess a little bit of a good note. Even though we have terrible rates, you know. If you notice, the cost of everything is also higher. The pity is insane. Pity only lasts 2 weeks, basically everything, maybe 3 weeks at max. And it costs so much too. With the banner is costing more too, so inherently it's just the worst of the worst. But these they shouldn't be limited, which is honestly surprising because like you literally see Adidas and JFA. If you go into the game, like, you can literally see they have the JFA copyright, so it's kind of surprising that this is not limited. Maybe to update that. I hope it isn't limited, but because I mean, it's just better for the game. General stuff isn't limited, but it is a little surprising. The only thing that's limited so far is limited honorary, which obviously is still a good card. All the LRs all run on the same level, and same with this Kaiser stuff, which is pretty hype too. Having you know, some Kaiser representation. A day after it was already announced. I guess it's been like 3 days since it was announced, the season 3 teaser. So there's that. So going into here, so this new training, you basically want to max up on your flow points, and only the more recent URs have this mechanic, and obviously all LRs have this mechanic. And so that's basically what you want to do. And so we have, obviously, since I had the newest rail, I think this hasn't changed too much. Set the new LR, and we have Bachira, Sai, Raichi, Otoya, and surprisingly, this Xbox Rin is here. This Christmas Rin, he's still there, and then we got this UR with Sai and Aiku. Obviously, still no armory, and then this one with Rin and Sai. Though you can pick up these two because I know them in the limited shop, and they're actually relatively cheap because you can max these out. This thing you can't even get naturally through the limited shop, through the ticket shop. So you have to pull for this, and you still have to get a high level. Right, these two, and you can actually get level 100 for relatively cheap. Then Sai Toshi is still the only guy who has any type of flow mechanic for the technical stat. So yeah, there's that, and also the EX bus again. This is the new training plan flow and challenge. You're just gonna go in there, just click on your technical card, just click anything that gives you flow points. With the LRs, it's so much easier to grab flow points, and when you do that, you're just gonna get big numbers at the very end. It's all about combining stuff towards the very end. Here we got Cake. Obviously got the new 5-star Saga here, and the new LR Kaiser. This Kaiser card gives you crazy stats too. I believe just for having this card, you get like, I think I want to say it's 20p, whatever it is, or maybe 200. It might be 200p to kick at the very start of the training, just for having this card. So yeah, that's absolutely insane. Got Shido over here, Chigiri, Sendo, Sai, then surprisingly Rin. Rin is actually still good. right? Again, these two cards you can actually max out. Compared to these two cards, you can only get level 75 from the ticket shot. These two you can actually max out level 100. It's actually really good. The Rayo. The Rayo has an inspiration bonus that gives you extra flow points if you click on his hit card at level 100. So he's actually pretty dang useful. Maybe for even a while, because he's the only one that has a mechanic like that. Well, I'm surprised that future LRs had that too, just to outshine him, honestly. But yeah, there's that. Then for the rest of the advisors, it's all Matoma. Just because Matoma gets the most stats, he has the most special electric bonus, and all of that. So again, nothing else so far has any mechanics related to the flow besides the side itoshi. So besides that, just for raw stats, you just want to put Matoma there. And there's some substitutes you want to use them, but again, I would advise going towards the substitutes, right? Because right now, get tickets, you should be picking up, main options, right? If you still have those tickets, but you still haven't used them at all, anything like that. So there's kick power there. Here we got speed. Oh, sorry about that. We got speed. We got Chigiri, Otoya, Aiku, Nagi, Kamiya, and Rayo. And then we got the new LR with all those three guys. We got Siren, Cross and Toya, and Chigiri over here, and this UREX with Isagi and Rin. Pretty simple, nothing crazy. Again, I probably expect a 5-star speed because I feel like it has that. That's the only one that hasn't been represented by any 5 stars, so hard to expect that soon. And probably Rin, just because Rin is kind of like in the character. Even though surprisingly, again, the Rin is actually still going to kick power, and he's still going to technical. So I don't know if that's the designer like that to ensure that Rin still sees some use and everything, but yeah, that's interesting. And I guess he's still on a bunch of cards too. Like he's there, right? So that's interesting. So there's the speed stat, and then physical. You got the 5-star Rayo. You got Raichi, Sendo, Shido. These themes got saying Kunigami, Aiku. Then we got the LR with Shikiri, Nagi, and Rayo. Then we got another one with Nagi and Rayo. And another one with Rayo, and then we got some Shadow Kunigami. But again, physical is always going to be a little rough, just because this EX isn't as strong as the other ones. They're all URs. And in new training, that's a really big thing too. Not having that EX, UR EX. So, a little unfortunate, but you still want to train physical. There's your option. This month probably get next in line to get UR EX. But they already announced a new training though, so well, you probably expect that it's going to announce a new training and just have the UREX available there to be used. And then wouldn't be surprised if within the next month they release an LREX that helps a lot more in that new training. I'm assuming the new training will probably expand on the flow mechanic and all that stuff, but yeah. So there's that for physical. And then we got Tetris with 5-star Isagi, IQ, Bachira, Corona, and this third animus Nagi, and then we got Hiyori over here now. He lines up a little better with the other stuff, because now we have 2 LRs and this Ego UR, which you can't even get this card. You can have the raw summon for it, which you can use the 2 substitutes because you can pick up the sub for level 100 if you can. And this card, I mean, you can get up a level 75, but obviously if you have this card level 100, it's probably better. But you might want to use like Chigiri instead, because obviously Chigiri is there on the thing, so that kind of lines up, right? And there's Aiku there. So there as it is, all the stats. Then you just go into the team. I didn't put 5-5. There's a new filter function in the match skills. So if you really care, you can just click on the filter, click on Isagi, and you can see the 4 players he links up best with. I think they're all mentioned on here. Well, actually no. So he mentioned with a 3-star Jun Kunigami. And that's one of his partners, or even the Matoma, the 5-star Matoma over here. Not 5-star, the 4-star Matoma over here. He also has the Speed Chigiri as a friend. This Summer Rin as a friend as well, and also the 5-star Rayo. That would be a team for 5-on-5. But the new mode, new main thing from now on is gonna be 10-on-10. And 10-on-10 is a lot more complex. Obviously, you have 5 different formations to play around with. Each of those formations have different positions. Obviously, players themselves you can at least play 2 different positions. So it's a lot more complex. But this is a team that I found that should be correct. 3 match skills. It's the only team. This is the most match skills because everything else has only 1 or 2. So yeah, this is the most match skills that you could possibly get right here. And it just allows you to play Isagi in the right side back. He does have an S rank in the offensive midfielder, but I was trying to find out like how to make that work, and yeah, it looks like for 3 match skills specifically, it's the only way to make it work. And you know, you just have high rarity players, except you know, we got the Christmas Christmas Wren over here. So that's a little interesting. So yeah, there's 10 on 10 lineup. Again, you can play around with a bunch of stuff. You could the main players you want to put is gonna be Bachira, Raichi, right, Sai, and I'm pretty sure Rayo. So those other 4, those are the main ones that you're gonna work up them as the activates a skill for him. So honestly, I don't think the skills are that much impactful because before, obviously, if you had a 0 skill team versus a 20 skill team, and those skills also, if you read them, they will you know, increase actions, you know, and do specific things like more likely to pass, more likely to shoot, more likely to defend, and other stuff like that. While these skills are, the whole game mode honestly has been simplified, or really you know, it just increases, you know, success for actions, significantly increase your stats. So everything's kind of been simplified. So I don't really think it's even that necessary to have, you know, that much match skills. But I guess still the high level, like every single bonus is probably gonna matter at the end, right? All that matters is that as long as your players all have a good position. Because if we don't have a good position, they're gonna get lower stats, and that's just gonna make them perform worse if they're not proper position. So there's that. So that'll be in the video, guys. But let's just talk about the game real quick. And again, I already talked about the downsides, right? These guys have crazy low rates. The prices are higher. The pity is split up between everything, right? This guy has his own. These guys have their own pity. Kaiser has his own pity. These cards have their own pity. It has less time you spend on too. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. It's just really interesting what they did over there. And then again, then the next releases, they might even go crazier with that too. Oh man, I just hope this game at least gets the Kaiser player. But you can see it from even both the Japanese version. The Japanese version was thriving, like literally right before the 5-star rail in the LR. The Japanese version was freaking thriving, and you can tell by the rankings. There's not as much players who are maxing out stuff in general. There's not much players playing. Interesting, the Japanese version just announced they got top grossing for one day after this Isagi's release. I don't really think that's true. Maybe they had top grossing for a singular minute, I guess, when these things got released, maybe. But yeah, I mean, it's just yeah, it's very unfortunate. I guess gonna try to talk about. Let's look at the positive side. The LRs, you only need 25 pieces to limit break them one time, which means you only need to pull them 6 times to get level 80. And once you get level 80, you get access to most of the abilities, so that's kind of nice. But the counter side of that, because at level 80 is easier, these things go up to level 150, and level 150 is obviously a bigger gap, and it's just crazy with numbers and all of that. These 5 stars, they lowered the second tile. Well, they only have 1 tile actually, technically. They have their main tile, intelligence for the flow union, right? Which, you know, in the flow training, at the very end, it combines 6 cards, and that flow union card is guaranteed to occur and has a bunch of stats. The second card, which you might be clicking on, that this Isagi's kick. With the other 4 stars, that was level 150, which is kind of crazy and ridiculous. They pulled 12 copies just to make them usable for other stuff. Now it's only level 100. But again, that kind of counters that the fact that these guys have a 0.26%, you know, drop rate as standard. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, but yeah, looking at another positive potentially is that these LRs surprisingly don't have no training links. Same thing, the 5 stars, they have no training links. yeah, I mean that's it. They have no training links, so I mean maybe we can start seeing a more linear progression because back then, yeah, okay, I can't draw a graph, but back then, let's just say level 0 and level 100, and like literally it looks like this, right? Or each level you're going about 1%, 1%, 1%, 1%. At level 80, boom, skyrockets. At level 100, boom, skyrockets. But now again, it look more straight. Like every 5 levels, like actually gets you million. Now, level 80 with a special extra bonus and everything, I think still matters a lot. But other than that, I think it will be a little more linear. But again, it's just the fact that now all these LRs and 5 stars just have crazy, stupid rates, and pity is just unbearable. I don't know what they really expected, because like the paying players don't like either. Like I think they had I don't know. I don't like that also that they immediately went into 5 stars and immediately went to flow 4 stars. Because if you look at every other game they treat these the highest rarities, they put this on a different pedestal, right? They like to release it during anniversaries, during New Year's, during Christmas or other significant celebrations, right? While this game, they just keep releasing the new rarity. They're just gonna spam 5 star, spam LRs, and then again, you don't be surprised if within 9 months there's a new one. There's gonna be 6 stars. There's gonna be ultra legendary rare, right? It's just I mean, they're kind of running their own. They're digging their own grave, right? They're digging their own grave, doing this crazy release. Yeah, and also recently, the game news. I think they announced Captain Tsubasa or the Golden 11. I'm familiar with that franchise or any of those, but they just announced a literal copy of you see a training simulator with turns. You got the 6 main stats. It is the exact same. You got the 5 main stats and stamina. So that's interesting. Inazuma 11 just dropped with a similar game. Just like a similar with again, it's another simulated soccer game. So I mean the market's kind of getting filled up. I know Haikyuu also a similar thing, turn extensions and training stats, right? Uh, uh, and then you have stories and all of that again. So the market is kind of filling up with all these other games, and I don't know. I mean, this I still like this, right? I still like this. This World Cup Isagi, and all these other players and Kaiser. It's hype on paper, but when you actually look into it, it's really terrible. I know they're giving out, over 50,000 gems, right? On the global version, they're giving out well over 50,000 gems. And I think if you were smart with your stuff, literally a day after they gave all those gems, they announced these guys on the stream, right? So if you saw that, like you would have saved your gems with these guys. Right now, there's too many great banners. I know there's like one version of banner, like a 10 step for 50,000. You could guarantee one copy. I know it's a lot, but like I'd rather have the guarantee than gamble and get zero nothing, right? So that's probably what I recommend. Just like wait for those banners that have a guarantee. But yeah, man. Just wow. There's gonna be a new training by next month, and the next month it's gonna be the Japanese version's 3.5 anniversary. And something these games maybe this is the plan is that introduce us terrible stuff, right? Terrible rates for 5 stars, terrible pity, right, for LRs, terrible everything. But then the 3.5 anniversary, they're gonna be really nice, So look, see, look, you can actually pity for these 5 stars. Oh look, they're actually good banners. Oh look, you can actually enjoy the game, right? And in comparison, it's wow, they're actually really nice and it's a lot better than it really is. But that's what it is. But they only create a problem and sell you the solution, right? That's kind of what it is. And maybe that reels back in paying players. At the end of the day, the paying players are supposed to keep this game alive. So I don't know. This might be the last big thing before this game goes, offline. But we'll see how it turns out. It's a C square. Peace out.